we're all on the same good high frequency wavelength. Do some stretches, a little bit of static yoga, a little bit of yin. I'm feeling kind of relaxed at the moment, so I didn't feel like playing. I just woke up from a nap actually. So instead of playing, which really requires a level of cognizance, clarity, competitiveness, and a lack of mental clumsiness, I've decided to do some coaching. And Mr. Brad Owen himself reached out to me and asked me not to do the Brad Owen vlogs, or not to review them, not to do the coaching for them. And he had a very legitimate reason. He asked very nicely, so I said, of course. Of course, how dare I have not asked in the first place? Being a very fine English gentleman I am. And so instead I reached out to the one, the only, Spraggy himself. And I was watching his content. I've already watched it. I was on the edge of my seat, even though I knew what was going to happen. And it was so fucking exciting. But watching poker content, I'm not very good at just kind of like sitting on the sidelines. I'm always analyzing. I'm always like criticizing. I'm always like thinking from a coach's perspective, because I do so much poker coaching. What could I tell this person to make them better at poker? Or what could I offer them? What could I help them by helping them help themselves? You know, what could I say that might kind of elongate or deepen their thought processes? And now, after reaching out to Mr. Spraggs and him giving his full consent, we're going to analyze Spraggy's WCOOP win. Are you excited? You better be fucking excited. Alright, let's fucking go, shall we? If you ever grown out a full beard, I have grown out a full beard. It gets the better of me quite often, actually. I always forget that I've grown out a full beard. And then, boom. I just have a full fucking face of hair and it gets really uncomfortable, so I have to shave it off. Gonna love it. Yes, that's right, gonna love it. You guys gonna fucking love it? Tonka's sausage nipples. So Spraggy has improved a lot since he started doing his homework. Good to know, man. Good to know. Let's fucking go. Alright, so let's see how this is lined up. I think this is all good. Let's put this down there. How's that looking? Maybe a little bit more that way. Oh god. Maybe a little bit more that way. Alright. Let's fucking go. How's the volume if I play it like this?
Chat. This is the event 83.
83.
1K turbo. PKO.
We're doing the whole fucking thing. I'm gonna make sure I actually have the rest of the day free. 1 second. My brain's all over the place after that nap. Yeah, we're good.
And that's just in the 1K PKO checking on the flop. We are not gonna.
Alright, so it looks like we've opened King Jack off under the gun, 8-handed on what looks like a reasonably soft table. Very good play there. You know, I'm actually kind of out of the realms of high stakes MTTs, so I'm not 100% sure on this. I feel like he's also a reg. I feel like he might be a reg as well.
Gonna fold.
So we go for the old check call. Definitely a passive line. Personally, I like the check on the flop. I like checking pretty much entire range here. There's probably a few hands I might want to see bet. If you are going to see bet, there's definitely merit to it. You can fold them off specifically hands like ace 10, ace jack, pocket 8, 7, 6, 5, blah, 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 by just betting a third. Completely reasonable. But one thing that's going to come up a lot is that Spraggy has been doing a lot of studying recently. And I believe that his studying has been quite GTO oriented. Yours truly, humbly, not GTO oriented. If that's new information to you, welcome to the channel. So I'll keep that in mind, and I'll say what I would have done, and then we can speak about some of the GTO stuff, but probably not delve too deeply into it. Because if you want to hear somebody talk about that, well, there's probably better people for that than me. So we go for the old check call. It's definitely a play. I will say this. By check calling here, I think you get bluffed off your hands a lot. It looks like you have some, queen jacks, some pocket eights, some 9x, some king jacks, and then just like maybe fucking 16 combos of ace king. I believe that people will end up bluffing you off this particular hand, so I personally prefer it to either c-bet or check raise. I think that it's not quite good enough for a check call, but I can see an argument for it, so whatever.
I'm gonna bluff.
The bluff, interesting sizing, very interesting sizing. We've polarized, and we're now repping only really flushes, as far as I can tell. Unless he's saying, yo, I'm check calling aces and kings on the flop, maybe some king queens. I don't think you need to go that big. I think the hands that you're trying to fold off, ace high in particular, maybe pocket eights, and it's all right, GTO. I don't know. I feel like GTO probably wants to choose this hand having a club in it if you want to go big, and probably smaller without, but who am I to say? But more in reality-wise, instead of thinking about this fake GTO lands, I don't think you need to polarize here. I think you can just start repping some queen tens, some queen jacks, and just go like just go half, go a third. But each to their own. It's not bad by any means. Somebody who hates GTO know quite a bit about it. Yeah, it's funny actually. So I've actually had one GTO lesson in my life, and I had a private session. This is back. I'll tell you a little story. This is back in the day, and I met somebody when I was playing live cash in, it was probably like Barcelona or something like that, Monte Carlo. And he was a very successful cash game player. I've forgotten his name. It's like Cristiano, some Italian dude that was playing up to like 200, 400. And I was playing 500 Zoom at the time, so I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's see what this GTO stuff's about. And I knew the basic concepts of it, so what I did is I did a session with him, and I just played GTO in front of him. And I got one of the nicest messages I've ever had in my poker career. The next day, or maybe the day after that, or something like that, I was on the train, and I got a message saying, hey dudes, just so you know, I don't feel comfortable coaching you. I feel like I don't have enough to teach you. It feels like you've got this GTO stuff kind of under wraps. I'd never had a lesson in GTO in my life, but it was very nice to know that I could have kind of maneuvered into that style. Now, this was a while ago. GTO's moved on. There's a bunch of different things that people have learned now, and I'm sure that I'm behind the times with loads of phenomena. But I think the point is that a lot of people can learn GTO. It's about whether you want to invest your time doing that. And undoubtedly, I would become a better poker player if I spent a bunch of time speaking to people that have done solver work, or if I did some solver work myself. Because not that I would actually utilize much of the knowledge that it would give me, but it would at least give me an idea about how other people play. And the analogy that I like is, if you're day trading, it's really, really important for you to not only know something, like the base, but you need to know every kind of variable that's out there influencing other people's decisions. You need to know the Fibonacci up and down. You need to know the Bollinger Bands. You need to know fucking loads of things. Not because all of this has like a mathematical or psychological reality, but because that's how other people are making their decisions. So it is important to at least somewhat keep up to date with some of the GTO stuff. That doesn't mean you need to play or think GTO, but it can be important to understand.
Playing for all of it, they just rip 100 blinds in the 1K.
Oh, ace king, yeah.
Sure.
All right, so we have limp. He's gone limp. We've gone check. I'd sometimes raise this, sometimes check, depending on the person, depending on the field. Against specifically, I think this is Dario Sammartino on a very soft table. I'm probably leaning more towards a check. He's going to have a reasonably good limp raising range, and we are going to be calling a 3-bet if we raise, and it's going to be a rough one. You know, we're going to be playing a big point position. That being said, it is a rebuy, so perhaps I would end up raising this.
What's that all about? Limped puck.
Call's good.
4 tables.
Love to see it.
Big bet in the 1K turbo. Obviously, our hands continue.
He's now repping a hand that's better than ours. You know, he's not repping King 6. He's repping, I'd say, King 10 plus.
We're going to be sitting in with the best hand
Often Ace X plus.
And we got the nut flush draw.
Some people are going to be merging there with King 10. Terrible bluff card for Dario Sammartino. He knows it. He knows he's going to get heroed a lot. Back in the day, this used to be a really fucking good bluff card. There was probably like a good 2 or 3 year period where, because nobody bluffed the ace on the river, everyone folded when you bluffed the ace on the river. But nowadays, people are a bit too balanced for that. I'd say it's gone to the point now where I've now under bluffed this spot.
Do I value bet now?
No, you don't value bet.
This is the bigger sizing on the turn, I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. I love that. That's a very good. I feel like he's about to value bet, but I feel like that was a very good thought process. He's polarized himself on the turn, so there's absolutely no reason to value bet. Now, secret mode's range is hands that beat us and bluffs like fucking 10-8, 5-6, hands like that. So there's absolutely no reason to value bet against a polarized range like that.
I do feel like I want to value bet. With my kicker, maybe I don't go for the bigger sizing. What are they like big betting turn with at check calls? King 6, King 5?
No.
King 4, King 3? I think they're words.
We also chop with those.
And I think they'd bet their King X now. Maybe some of the weaker King X check calls, so maybe the 8 is fine to value bet?
Oh, yeah. Spraggy, I don't know if you're going to watch this. I love you, dudes. I fucking love Spraggy. And guys, if you haven't checked out Spraggy's channel, go give him a subscribe. He's fucking phenomenal. I'm just gonna butter him up a tiny little bit here. Your kicker doesn't play, mate. You're a professional poker player. Ace, ace, king, king, 9. 5. If you're value betting against King 5 specifically, which he doesn't have in his range, I'm not going to finish the sentence. You got this. Yeah, Sprag's been playing a bit too much of that 6 cards. Makes a hand hold him.
A hand to look at.
All right, well, we're looking at it now.
A very small re-raise.
No
Daddy
good,
doesn't
bro.
fault to small 3 bets when he can.
All right, we're calling. 8. It's an all right flop.
Is that funny? Give me a little spader bud here. A little milk.
Interesting thing. Ages ago, Ben and I were finding these monochrome boards, or monotone boards, whatever you want to call them, and we were c-betting really small. And the reason for that is, and GTO people actually give a different reason, but their solver says to do this. I think the biggest reason for it is, there's a few reasons, but I think the best reason for it is, if you think about Spraggy's range here, there are so many hands that have absolutely zero equity. Ace, Jack of Hearts, fucking 5s, no spade. There's the Queen, Jack of Diamonds. There's so many hands that are just dead. Like, they're dead. So by c-betting small, you're getting a really, really cheap bluff. You can even bet like 5k here, and all of those hands, they just have to fold. Or they might not have to fold, but a lot of people do fold anyway. Maybe they can check raise bluff sometimes with air. And that's a really, really nice spot to be in. And it means that kind of range versus range doing really, really well. Now, you can be a bit unbalanced here. You can turn up with the aces with the ace of spades. Maybe you want to be betting around 10k, just getting a little cheeky. Nobody's ever going to know. Because apart from me speaking it on YouTube, nobody's going to have an idea of how anyone plays. So, you know, no one's ever going to make a note on you saying, oh, this guy bets 10k into 37 with aces when he only bets 5k with a bluff, you know, on monochrome board. And nobody's going to make those notes. So really do try and be as unbalanced as possible until you have reason to believe that somebody's somehow caught on to that. But nobody ever does. Nobody ever catches on. I've been speaking about my strategy on YouTube for a good couple, maybe a few years now, and we're still doing fine. I'm sure there are a few people that are getting me good. But just so you know, it's a good spot. Monochrome boards in general is a good spot to maybe lead small. Maybe you could lead small with Spraggy here. Could be a very interesting play. That would actually be probably pretty good. But also to see bet small.
Milky on the flop. I will see a turn.
Yeah, we'll see a turn.
Oh, you give me a straight draw as well.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay. Check. 13k is my max.
13k is your max?
I'll call 15.
I'll call like...
26.
I'll call 26. You got a straight draw, mate. And a flush draw. You know, you can be sitting there with like aces, no spade. And which is like, it's not the worst case scenario, but it's like a pretty bad hand to be up against. We're fucking got loads of outs. I'll call that one. Milk me all you want, KZHH.
What the fuck am I doing? Limping in the 1k with ace king 6.
I gotta be honest. I don't like the limp. I get GTO balance stuff, but personally, I'm never limping here. I'm only limp. Oh, fuck, this is so painful for me to like tell my strategy because as soon as I say it out loud, I have to change it. I have to start fucking limping some of these against people that I think might have been watching my channel. But I'm only limping hands that want to limp fold probably. Maybe king, queen. No, not even that. I'll probably shove. The problem is we have a bounty. So it's not like he's going to be folding any of his ace X. He's barely going to be folding any of his king X. Like he might even be calling fucking like king 6 off, hands like that. Where's 10 king queen? What do I do with aces and kings? That's a good point. Maybe I would limp specifically aces and kings as well in this spot. Maybe queens as well, actually. So, you know, I will have some traps. But ace king, it just plays so nice as a shove. It's just so nice. And it definitely means... So this isn't like a criticism of Spraggy because, you know, he does play a lot on stream. And he probably needs to be a lot more balanced than I need to be. So if you want to be limping all your like fucking jack 6 suited, you also need to be limping your ace kings and ace queens and stuff here because otherwise it's going to be super exploitable. So this isn't a criticism. It's just personally, if you know, to you guys, I would strongly recommend not copying this, especially if you're playing the low stakes.
Good.
Have I watched MMA Matchdog's vids about my play? I watched one of them and he just had absolutely zero idea what was going on in my mind, and then he like raided my girlfriend's looks. And I was like, you know, I'm out, mate. I'm out. Nice turn. Love to see it. The cool thing about this is that, you know, we have turned up with a hand that's pretty trappy. We have a bunch of bluffs here. We have a bunch of 10x and queen x specifically, maybe some 3-4 suited, hands like that. So we can definitely get hero down pretty light.
All right, this is a 1k PKO. We'd really like to double up in a 1k.
Yeah, we would. Little does he know how far he's going to go in this motherfucker.
Call! Please!
You can see I'm a good YouTube follower because I like the video. And I'm subscribed.
Against slow rolled? What's these slow rolls? I don't like it.
I don't like the throw balls either.
Queen 10.
That can definitely be a slow roll. It increases the chances.
Deuce 5.
Yeah, I don't dislike the call at all, to be honest. I think people really do overbluff in that spot with queen x and 10x.
They did not believe me. We did double up.
Yeah, exactly, Bagpuss. That's exactly right.
We did double up.
Wait, is that a... How many blinds is that? Where does it say the blinds? 2.5k, 5k. We're on 20... 21 bigs? No, it's 2k, 4k. Oh, in 2 minutes. Okay, 2k, 4k. We're on 27 bigs with the 8s on the button. I'm probably just shoving there. I feel like it's just a shove. And I'm like one of the people you'll find that least likes shoving. Like all these new solvers telling people to like 3-bet shove like 30, 40, fucking 50 bigs. I never do that shit. But this one seems like a pretty nice shove. Maybe even a 3-bet call.
It's a set in the 1K. Oh god.
Flatting seems a bit.
This is a huge pot.
Fucking beautiful. Fucking great play. Hold. Oh, we know we hold.
Give it all to me.
I fucking love Spraggy.
I don't quite cover for the bounty, but we triple up.
Please fold it. Nice.
Chips are obviously flying in this 1K. Turn a straight draw.
Alright, so we've... What? We've opened in C-bet? No. Wait, what? So wait, it's... What are the blinds? Is it 2.5k, 5k, or is it 3k, 6? It's 2.5k, 5k. So we've opened to 10 point something. He's called, and we've checked flop. Okay. I absolutely don't mind the check on the flop. It is a board. Oh, he's called out a small blind. Okay, that's also relevant. Against the small blind, I'm c-betting this, definitely. Against the big blinds, I'm definitely more likely to check. The thing is that the small blind has fewer hands that kind of mix with the 3 and the 4. You know, he does obviously, he might pill the pocket 3s, pocket 4s this deep, but he doesn't have all the fucking like 7, 5 offs, you know, hands like that are going to be check raising us. So I'm just going to be c-betting and knowing that we're going to get a ton of nice turn cards to barrel against the small blind.
Seven from heaven. So close, as Kmart would say. So close. It's a 6, we needed a 7. Except it's not close at all, is it? It either is or it isn't. A 6 is as far away as an ace. Yes,
he's a true philosopher.
This is a call in the 1K.
This is a call in the 1K. Agreed. 100% agreed.
$1,000.
Hold. 6. Nice.
Good flip to win. 215 bounties and a big stack in the 1K. Can't fold 5s for 27 versus small blind rebang. Can't do it, mate. Just can't do it.
Yeah, Joni, it's an interesting thought, and it's a sad thought as a coach to think that some people just aren't going to be talented enough to be able to beat high stakes. But I think you're right, and it's not just 500 zoom; it's like different levels. IQ I don't think is quite the right metric to be measuring, but obviously we don't have any really reliable metrics for intelligence. But some people are just not very talented at poker, and that's that. You know, some people aren't very talented at Scrabble, and that's that. It's just there's going to be a spectrum or multiple spectra of how talented people are at different parts of poker, and it's sad to say that, you know, as a coach, sometimes I've had to say, like, sorry, dude, I don't think you're good enough to be able to eventually become a high stakes poker player. And it's a brutal truth for some people to hear, but it's not something I would say liberally. It's something I'd say only in very, very particular circumstances. And sorry, Spraggy, I've just got some bad news I need to share on that note.
You still in anything? What are you in?
I have the 1K 7 max turbo PKO preset.
I forgot Tonka came on.
I'm 75 of 80, and
love
I am
Tonka.
going to stream the completion of.
Oh wait, sorry, different one. No, sorry, I'm in that 1K turbo as well. I'm 36th in chips of 77 left. 49 paid, right?
I see you. Very cool.
Yeah, we in there.
I just wanted to check in and give you a little pep talk. Let you know.
Thank you, brother.
If you don't make 1 million chips into 2 million chips in the next coming hour, we're done as friends.
Sure.
Never call the stream again.
It's blindly blind. We're going to check in the 1K.
All right, so we've opened, and he's called, right? Oh, no, we just limped. We just limp rated. The blinds went up huge. It's like 6K, 12K. Okay, I like it. I like it. Personally, my limping strategy is a lot less than Spraggy, but I put myself in the mind of somebody that has a lot more of a limping strat. And in this exact circumstance, I probably would actually limp ace 5 off because he covers us for the bounty. We're pretty deep, and we have a hand that's nice to limp call, and it's a good spot.
Oh, 5?
Value bet, min bet. Oh, it's 14k. Weird.
Very cool.
I'm so out of the loop of cool.
What's that?
Cool.
1k bounty?
Cool. Oh, wait, maybe shove. Shove?
Ace Jack, I gotta send it.
Yeah, you do.
$1,000 bounty, Ace Jack in the 1k. We do not want to get called behind.
Oh, it says down there, thank you.
Big flip.
Thanks.
Put him up, high card.
Take king.
card.
Ace. Nice.
High card, $1,000 bounty, $969.
Is this Spraggy's thing? Is this like the classic Sprags? Or is he just
45 blinds.
just
16 of
incorporated
70
that
with 49p. That was such an important flip in the turbo.
recently? Cool. So the question is to check call or to check raise? It depends on the size. It definitely depends on the size. Okay, so third pot. Guys, 1 in the chat if you would call, 2 in the chat if you would raise. Finger wag is very classic, the soccer celebration. Huh. Good to know. Worth noting that we are near the bubble, meaning that it's probably less likely this guy is just going to punt off if we raise with like king queen. I think that plus the fact that he's probably c-betting 100% here makes me a lot more likely to want to raise. Yeah, even if he thinks Spraggy's probably not raising all of his 8x here, I think that I don't see too many people just going mental if they just have like ace jack off, king queen off, those kind of hands. So I like the raise. Generally, when you're deciding whether to check raise, bluff, or flop, you want to be thinking a few things. But one of the things is how often is this person c-betting the flop, and how often will he fold to a raise? I.e., how much fold equity do we have? It's very possible that this person has decided to go for a 100% c-bet strategy in this exact spot. And if that happens to be the case, then we have a beautifully profitable check raise. So there are other circumstances where, you know, if the flop happens to be something along the lines of 10-8-7, obviously we have a pretty nice hand there. But let's say we have a hand that we're thinking about bluffing on 10-8-7, like 5-6, and he c-bets like 70%. Well, suddenly we're like, does he have that many bet folds in his range? That's the question. Because people aren't c-betting 100% there. He's going to be checking behind loads of hands. And suddenly our check raise becomes a lot less profitable. Now, these things become less and less relevant the higher and higher stakes you get. Depending on the spot, it is poker's a very nuanced game. But when you're playing low stakes to mid stakes especially, you really have to be thinking about this. Like, if you broke it down into combinations, how many combinations would he be bet folding, meaning bet and then fold to a raise, and how many would he be bet calling, how many would he be bet shoving? And you can really break down these spots into a very granulated way. But you can also just kind of use your intuition, you know, rational intuition, logical intuition, and feel intuition as well, and say, okay, well, on this kind of spot, if you're playing a $10 tournament and you got pretty deep, do you expect people to c-bet this 100%? Yeah, you do. You really do in a $10 tournament. Do you expect people to go bananas with queen 10 of hearts? Probably not. So it's a really, really good spot to raise.
We're gonna have more 8s.
Stacks are kind of awkward though, that's the problem, but still going for it. That 2-second time back's stressful, dude. you gotta find some more time. Yeah, stacks really are kind of awkward. 6.
Give me that.
Oh, Spraggy's fucking into this.
I also have to be all in with 10s.
Yeah, you do. You don't have to be. You get to be.
In the 1K.
It's the dream.
But I've got a very, very good hand, and I can get bounty hunted pretty fucking hard for 5 blinds.
I like that he puts up his hand when he says he's got a very good hand. He's like,
worth at least $1,000 and a run at the top with 55 left.
It's a cheesy pun,
10,
Sprags, but I
hold.
like it.
We're not going to be able to time in. Come on, tens. Magic hand. Spam it in the chat. It doesn't do a thing. I've already either won or lost the pot by the time you see us.
He says that spamming in the chat and giving him your energy doesn't do a thing. That is a very materialistic ideology, and I'm going to put my metaphysical coaching hat on for a second here. You're assuming there that your hypothesis and your presupposition is that time happens to be acting in a linear fashion in this universe that we exist in. But science, theoretical physics, has actually come to the conclusion that time is in fact not a linearity but a singularity, meaning that past, present, and future don't exist, and perhaps the power of intention could, and in fact, according to a lot of scientific literature by a lot of different scientists, including Dean Radin, who I interviewed on a podcast on my YouTube channel, the singularity of time can actually be influenced by the power of consciousness, and the power of consciousness can actually enact retroactively versus an RNG. So put that in your solver and smoke it, Spraggy.
I'm either sitting here and going to be in the money, or am I? Fuck! No, tens is good. Tens is good. Tens is
This
good.
is a good spot. You might get a fold from the other guy.
Can we time in? How many people are busting? No. Please hold.
Tell me if it was right.
I'd really love to go
Positivity.
heads up for a triple up. If this guy folds, I'm heads up and can triple.
I don't know who James McAvoy is, but if he's an X-Men, I'll take it.
So intense.
It's a good one. So intense. These accidental puns from Sprags are pretty fucking good today. So intense. Oh, look at how nice this spot is. Oh, don't like that.
Always a sweat. Magic hand,
always a
folks.
fucking
Always
sweat.
flops a set. Always flops a set.
Yeah, Spraggy complained when he got reshoved on there, but it was like the fucking dream. This is just like such a... You can probably shove fucking deuce 3 off here profitably. There's a bounty in play. 2 from the money. This guy's going to have to be calling so fucking tight. So I'm pretty sure he can shove any 2 here profitably.
Big jam here against Tomati. When we're 2 from the money.
Of course he can. But Jack 8.
12 blinds.
Yeah, dude, Jack 8. Phew.
Here comes the bubble. I cover them as well, so I think I have to shove 12 blinds.
Of course you do, dude. You got
Don't
this.
have a big hand.
You knew it all along.
6-5 off.
You're just doubting yourself.
Thank you.
Sprags
think
impressed
it's
me so
supposed
far.
to be-
He hasn't had too many difficult spots yet.
I went
I,
to it.
I will say that not knowing that his 8 didn't play was whatever the word for opposite of impressive was. But he's playing well. He's playing solid. But he hasn't had a chance to show off his... I've seen Spraggy make some plays where I'm like, that was fucking good. He's very good at sniffing out bluffs, especially.
I went all in. We are about to win. Oh, jeeps. Oh, 2 from the money, huh? Let me see. Now, obviously, in a PKO, we're less worried about it.
Now, if you're a real baller, you don't shove here. You just fucking like 2.7 exit and just have a ton of bluffs in your range and accept that people are going to shove on you pretty wide. Now, the correct play is to shove, but, you know, if you want to be a baller, you can 2.7 exit. Try and just get a big stack. Especially that stuff works more in like smaller fields. In smaller fields, the min cash means less and chips mean more, because when you do cash and you have chips, you're closer to the final table, meaning closer to the money. Opposite of impressive, unimpressive. That's quite the philosophical statement. I'll have to deliberate on this.
Less worried about bubbling because it's a much smaller.
Fold is never an option. Fold is not an option.
Bubble.
Yeah, you have to go home if you fold.
In a regular tournament, it's a little bit
You
different.
have to
Bubble's a
stop
little
playing
bit
poker
different.
for a bit. Do some
The risks are a little bit different.
meditating.
So if it gets folded to us here, we are going to be all in. Like I even though like I'm
Some
29 to
contemplation
51
on life.
in a PSKO, I think I shove here. Obviously, I'm just going to take all my time. There are all ins on the
If
other
you're
table.
curious why people sometimes do this, where they don't quite shove, first of all, these people trust their internet a lot more than I trust my internet. Second of all, what it does is it means that in these kind of spots he gets to tank longer, so more chance of making the money. And third of all, actually, one of the things it does is it means that if somebody shoves on you and you call, your fold to 3-bet stat on your HUD, which I don't use HUDs because I think they're cheating, but you know, I understand a lot of people do, including my students, so I tell them this. Your fold to 3-bet stat on your HUD goes down, meaning that people think they got less fold equity against you when they're fucking data mining or whatever.
So we might still be able to make it. And obviously a lot of the time we're just getting folds. We also, you know, we have ace queen suited, a very strong hand. Nice.
Ooh. Yeah, raise it. Min raise it. Probably, if we're min raising king jack here, we're probably raising too much, and these guys can fuck us. But for them to fuck us, they have to know that we're raising too much, and that's tough. So I like the raiser, especially with covering the big blinds.
I'm gonna raise.
The problem is that both of these guys are. It would actually be nicer if like these stacks were changed. So when if Calvin were here and Killer were here, or they had the stacks kind of miraculously changed, it would be less incentive for the 700k stack here to be shoving because he can still bust. But if it folds around to now the 700k, he can't bubble by shoving fucking like ace deuce off or whatever.
I want to shove because
it's definitely a reasonable spot for
I'm looking around
anyone here to shove ace deuce off.
On.
Not him or him, but these two. The fucking cheek of that.
All the other tables have finished, I think. Ace 10 queen.
Uh-huh. What do we do here? So there's definitely an argument for trying to c-bet and just fold him out all his like broadways and shit. The problem is I don't even know if they definitely fold. Like if he's just got like Jack 10 of spades here and we c-bet small, it's like there's a chance that he might just fucking float. It would be wild, but there's definitely a chance. I think I'm this close to the money. I'm probably just accepting this isn't my board, and I'm just gonna check fold it here and play like a little bitch. I definitely don't want to check range here.
I'm only trying to fold out.
Imagine you got like queens or something. You got eights checking, and him checking behind would just be so fucking annoying on this board.
Like 9-10 suited, queen 10. Problem is ace high is gonna peel. Obviously all the pairs are gonna peel.
I don't mind the c-bet at all.
Maybe we don't bet at all. Maybe it's greed.
And this is the thing about poker is that this might be the absolute best play. Check folding might be suboptimal in comparison. Check folding might be the best play. Nobody knows. There's not a solver in the world that can tell you this. Poker's way too complicated for a solver to be able to take all of these variables in and know what's best. So don't let all of these coaches online, they're like, you have to do this because the solver says so. You have to use this size on the turn because the solver is nonsense. If you have a coach that tells you all the time this is what's right and this is what's wrong, he doesn't understand poker.
You need to bet.
What size would you see the eights? That's a great question. And this is what I like about students, that they're interested enough in poker that they're not just looking at the spot in hand, but they're thinking, oh, but what if this happened? This would be a more interesting spot. So I really appreciate that you asked that question there. Voila, 50. If I had eights here, I think I'm betting a size that still gets calls from ace high, but the biggest size that I possibly can. So maybe like 90k, 80, 85, maybe 100k, something along those lines. And then shoving turn. So the thing is, obviously ace 10 still has a bunch of outs against us. It's not like the dream, but we can just give it the wrong price to be calling, and then shove turns and just get a ton of folds. Maybe some fucking hero calls from ace 5 or whatever.
Maybe we don't bet at all. Maybe it's greedy to bet.
Could even bet like 170k. It'd be an interesting one to like have a range where. Even theoretically, obviously I'm not trying to be balanced using these spots at all, but have a range where you bet like 170k, making him fold a bunch of his ace highs or shove a bunch of his ace highs, meaning that our bluffs are a lot more profitable because he does just have a ton of ace highs, and then for a hand like eights, betting 170k is kind of the dream because it puts a ton of his hands in a really rough spot. So I've actually kind of changed my mind here. Actually, the more I think about this, the more I love betting 170k with a bunch of hands. I don't know whether King Jack off's one of them, but with a ton of hands at least.
Greedy to bet.
Yeah, that's the problem. You get floated a lot. He has ace high a lot. He's got a pair a lot. Do we bluff the river? That's the question. Nah, just gotta check fold it, mate.
I think we lose to ace high a bunch, but I don't think I can really bluff here.
Yeah, you can't bluff here. Too many of your value hands to be shoved.
What ace highs am I trying to fold out? They don't really have ace queen, ace king. I block ace jack. Ace 8 and ace 10 made a pair. Ace 3, ace 2, ace 5 might not fold. Flush gets there if they have that, you know? I think I just give up.
I think that's a really good analysis from Sprags. I like how he played it. I would have played different, but who knows? Ooh. Now this might be a min raise. This is a really interesting spot. We won from the money. We want to be min raising aces. That's 100% certain. Especially covering the big blind. It's just like a really nice spot to min raise aces. So we also want to have some raise folds. Is ace jack suited going to be one of those hands, or is it strong enough to shove? I think it's a shove. I really don't know. I think it's probably a shove. It might be a min raise. It might be a min raise. Shove's not so bad. We cover two of the people. They're a lot less likely to call off. Somebody really needs to wake up with a hand to be able to call off here. Like they need to have like ace 10 suited plus. But are they going to shove wide?
Please become a Stars Pro, Charlie. Love yo, bro. Happy 1 year.
Oh, what's up, Grips? What's up, dude? Actually, I mentioned in my last YouTube video, I mentioned the only kind of educational content I watched was your bankroll challenge. So, guys, shout out to Grips. Sorry that's so fucking loud. I don't know how to turn that down, guys. I haven't worked that one out yet. Yeah, I think I like a min raise. If this guy's on like 1 million, I might even like a 2.5x. But I can see an argument.
They're really trying to bubble me out, buddy. I mean, I'm taking this. I'm taking it. I mean, I'm stupid. Maybe I'm 30th out of 50 with 49 paid, and I'm all in.
Yeah, I don't know about it. I feel like min raise is better.
Am I an idiot, Parker?
Depends on what you have.
Ace jack suited.
No. That's fine. I mean, you also cover the big blind and the command button, you know?
Yeah.
Plus, like, obviously, like, ICM restrictions are still, like, in place and, like, very important. And it is pretty wild, actually, with your bounty, because it's a little bit wider. But, like, nobody can really, like, hunt you wide with stacks, right? And also, like, the bounty, the cash is worth less.
That's what I mean. That's what I was just saying to chat. It's not like a regular tournament. It's only a 1K return. And, like, in 2 of the spots there, I'm still in the tournament, you know, like, I don't know.
He's right. Definitely changes things.
And the bubble has burst.
Phew!
Ace king suited. Oh my god. Parker. Parker.
You actually have ace king?
This is not.
I like that Parker says, that Tonka says, you actually have ace king. It means that he and Sprags do what Ben and I used to do, where we'd be like playing on opposite sides, but we'd have each other's tables up and like, you know, WCOOP or Scoop or whatever. And I'd be like, I fucking got aces. And he'd be like, do you actually? I'm like, fucking do. He'd be like, fucking alright. And he comes around, I've got like 7-3 off or whatever. It's good to be balanced in life sometimes.
I really will never talk to you again.
Okay, $375 bounty, all the chips.
Coco ain't folding many hands here.
Bought me for like 3 months, okay? Have a day off, okay?
Have a day off.
Pot, please hold. Okay, they're all in.
Why are you tanking? Are you trying to give him the pay jump?
$375 in chips to take a run at the top. Queen 6 off. Looks good to me.
DOTT?
Yeah,
He's dead.
DOTT. Dead on the turn.
What a luck box I am. There we go. That's all we need. Some post-bubble bust-out bonanza heat.
Stars Pro cult leader. From the looks of both. I'm already a cult leader. But
we are all in.
Just so you guys know, I'm not gonna be a Stars Pro. It's just I imagine it's never gonna happen. I'm not one to blindly support a company because they'll give me money. If I were a Stars Pro, They would be like, "Hey, look at my friend Charlie. Please put him on, our PokerStars channel." I'm like, "Hey guys, when are you gonna give back that rake back deal that you stole off people, huh? Where's that supernova money gonna go back to the players, huh?"
$143.
So, I'm probably a bad candidate. They were really considering me for a while.
9 blinds.
Real question here, not troll. If solvers are so bad, why are all the best players solver players? Great question. Love it. Solvers can definitely make people better at poker. I'm 100% with it. I just think there's so much delusion around how they actually work and how to think about poker. And that delusion kind of like trickles down and really, really affects people in the lower stakes. Now, it's also worth noting that pretty much all of the best players in the world started poker before solvers came into existence. So their intuition was built up by playing millions of hands of non-solver poker. Whereas a lot of new players, when they get into poker now, they're like, oh, okay, all they're doing is studying solvers. That means all I should do is study solvers. And they don't have that kind of background of playing intuitively and thinking about poker for yourself, essentially. That's not to say that you can't just get really good at poker by studying solvers. I've seen somebody do it. I don't think it will make people the best in the world if they just study solvers. But I think you can just get pretty good at poker. And again, I've learned so much poker from GTO people. I'm definitely not saying, and fucking Steven Chidwick, fucking idiot. You know, that's not my position when it comes to GTO. I think that thinking about poker in the correct way is something that's really, really rare. And I think teaching poker in the correct way is something that is also really, really rare. And learning from solvers can be really good if you can do it in the right way. If you can draw out a concept and say, oh, okay, it's led the turn here for like 12% pot. Why has it done that? Let me understand why has it done that. And that's how I've personally learned from solver people. Not that I've done solver work myself, but I've spoken to people, I've played against people where I've like, they fucking min bet here. Like a thing that the GTO people started doing is like a lot like min bet C betting, which if you did that like 3 years ago, you get like a fish label. But now it's like, oh, okay, let me think about that. Let me see if it makes sense. Let me see why they're doing it. And I've learned a lot of stuff. Like I've seen people do that. It's like I've never thought about doing that before. So there's definitely a lot of value to solvers. I'm definitely not against it. I just think that a lot of people that teach solvers, they really don't understand how the human brain works. They don't understand how poker works in a really deep way, at least, in a really holistic way. And they don't understand how students kind of get information into their mind. And for every amazing solver player out there, for every amazing GTO player, there's going to be thousands of people that have tried to play GTO and have just absolutely failed. And I've come across, maybe not 1 to every 1,000, but you know what I'm saying. The point stands, maybe hundreds. And I've come across hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them myself, and I've had to kind of renegotiate how they think about poker. And I've seen people who have just been stuck at 2NL or 5NL, and I've just given them like one session, like literally one session. And I'll speak to them later, if they've been stuck there for like a year, and I'll speak to them like a month later, and they'll be like, fuck it. I've got up to 50NL. All I needed to do was think about poker in the right way. Something clicks in them where they're like, oh, okay, I just need to think about their range, my perceived range, and how to exploit that. That's literally, to get up to like 50NL, you just have to have good, solid range analysis. Here's my opponent's range. What am I going to do about that? Here's my perceived range. How am I going to use that to my advantage?
We gotta go with it. We gotta go. It's a 6 big blind jam. Someone could bounty hunt. Do you know what? Calvin's all in. Do I cover? 10.46 now. Alright.
Fortuna Melon Poker, I do have my masterclass, and I'm very proud of it.
Folding blindly blind, basically. Okay, huge pot for all this.
Ooh. 6 bigs, 11 bigs. We're all in. This guy's gonna be reshoving fucking King Deuce off, so we gotta go with it.
For all the chips. King, Queen, O, please hold. Most important is that it holds to the right. It holds against Magpie.
I like that he's saying hold. That's a very optimistic approach.
There's the pay jump. King, Queen, O, holding against Magpie. Beat everybody, please. You can do it. King 10 and King, Queen. No 10. No 10 for a side, and we chop the other one. We'll take it. We'll take that. 1 million chips, no bounties, but 1 million chips, and now there's going to be a bounty in play probably because
Solid.
46,000 chips.
Sorry, I was trying to work out how to block someone, how to ban someone. Not so good at this this Twitch thing yet.
Elliot jams. Okay, 2 bounties. I have to gamble with ace-5 off.
Yeah, you got to shove here. So the reason you have to shove here is that he's going to be shoving super wide. He's only covered by 1 person. So imagine you're here with just fucking like king deuce suited. You're like, I want to get this guy's bounty, and if either of these two call, I don't really give a fuck. They've got bounties, whatever. So he only needs to get through Sprags, and yeah, he can shove fucking liberally here. He can shove super wide.
Hold against Elliot. That's the main pot. King 8. No, ace king behind. No.
Fine.
Oh, we're just so
we're dead. We're dead.
I mean, we have chips, but we're just so dead.
He had 1 out
The main.
against the main pot.
I wasn't getting it all. I just heard ace. That was just side pot guy.
Yeah, no. Damn, ace king behind. I mean, king 8 got there against us anyway.
Any plans to carry on the challenge? I did an episode 2 days ago. We got up to 6.2k.
Oh. Yeah, we'd have won Elliot's bounty if we'd have held against king 8. Damn, these are high variance, huh? I mean, obviously we've got to go for it there because they're jamming super wide. This bounty's in super wide. Yeah, mate. Oh, we got queens.
It's crazy. It is crazy in some of these turbos how it goes like that.
Right.
I mean, it's natural, right? I mean,
That's such a classic. I don't care what you're saying. I'm so excited about queens. Right. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Literally like 5 to 10.
Rolling with queens.
Do you think you could beat
21 is a
500
pay
zoom
jump.
over a million hand
But
sample?
fuck
I
it.
actually put a challenge out there. It was like 6 months ago, because I had so many high stakes people being like, Charlie's fucking shit at poker. I was like, you know what? Let's prove some shit. And I put a challenge out there. I was like, I'll bet 200k that I can beat 500 zoom over a reasonable sample. Crickets. Nobody. One guy was like, maybe I'll do it if you could bet 5 BB per hush. Like, yeah, whatever. You know, I'm not super interested in playing more than like 50k hands, but it's definitely something I would do for a prop bet, because it would be maybe like 25k hands, because it would just be fun. Hey Charlie, could you please answer this question? If all these streamers are high stakes crushers make a living out of poker, why do they stream, create masterclasses, etc.? Aren't they more interested in that others don't study and don't improve? I think the sad truth is they don't make enough money from poker to sustain themselves and the majority of their income. No, I think you're actually wrong on that. It's definitely, the incentive structure's there for people like Pads, for instance, or people like Ben CB to make a bunch of content and to get an audience. First of all, it's fun as fuck. It's fun. Like having a YouTube channel, I can say, is really fucking fun. Second of all, it's passive income. You know, you can just go to sleep and know that you're making money, which is really, really nice. It really feels good. Oh, I should release my other YouTube video. 1 second. I got. Maybe I should do it after this, actually. Guys, I have a YouTube video that I'm about to post. You should go watch it after this. So yeah, I mean, you can just take a few counter examples to kind of disprove the rule there. And you can look at Pads, for instance. You can look at me. You can look at Ben CB. Like all of us are winning at poker, and all of us have made masterclasses and things like that.
Pay jump, we need to double hit. This is obviously a huge hand in the context of the hands we're seeing going all in, right? This
Yeah.
is monstrous.
All right, cool.
What's my bounties up there? $1,000?
What's my YouTube channel?
Okay,
It's Charlie
Come on,
Carrel.
Queens, please hold. Come on, Queens. 22 left in a turbo WCOOP. Hold the queen.
Shout out to the dishwashers.
Wow, 3 ways, huh? There's a pay jump at 21 for an extra $400. I'm gonna use the
No
time
worries,
bank, see if someone busts. I can't wait anymore. Hold. A7, A5.
Can't wait anymore.
Don't do it.
Sounds like he's just too impatient. 4.
Let's go.
JK.
Oh.
Let's go. What perfect hand. Oh my fuck, I've got kings.
Come on, and Calvin's there too.
And Calvin's there? Come on,
I
man.
love how much he wants to win this. It means so much to him, and it's so fucking pure to watch.
I've got fucking kings the next hand. 8th of 22.
That headband is a really like
Come on, pump it.
particular style that he's gone. Like he's really gone out on there, and I'm never one to even comment on hair, but I fucking love it. He looks like a mushroom.
1k bounty. Oh, he pumped it. Calvin, come on. Please hold. King, please fucking hold. This is for like top 4.
Somebody get poop in one day. Let's go.
22 left. Come on,
A
baby.
queen's now officially called
Come on,
now
baby.
called the dishwasher.
King.
Someone somewhere is very offended. They are called the dishwashers. That is correct.
Get him in, get him in.
Come on, buddy. 1K bounty. Let's fucking go.
Hold.
You know he's re-triggering so hard with Calvin there too.
Hold.
Come on, Kings.
He
this
is.
For like top 5 with 20
He's
left.
going to be
in
shoving
silver.
very wide here.
$1,000 bounty.
Wouldn't be surprised to see
Ladder.
king queen off. What's up, pads?
Ace queen, please.
Always running deep.
No, buddy.
Like, don't put a jack.
Jerk.
Please. Oh my
Fuck.
God.
Oh,
He wants to win so bad, and I
everything.
love it.
Oh, fuck. Fuck me.
Still in.
Fucking 2 million, man.
Still in.
Limp King. Oh, that's a very good question. Limp Kings to ISO Calvin.
$1,000 bounty.
Probably. I feel like you want to be limping here quite wide, and the reason for that is, guys, that it's a very very nice spot. I think I saw it when I first watched it. I didn't see it this time around. Is that if you limp and he shoves, now it's a really annoying spot for everyone behind, because you can now re-shove over the top, so they can't just call. Whereas if you raise, he shoves, big blind gets to call off. So I think it's definitely a very good spot to be limping here.
Top 4.
Somebody get poop in one
And
day.
you can also limp really wide as well. You can limp like fucking king deuce suited.
Let's go.
Calvin there too. With 20.
Let's not watch the pain again.
For everything. Ah, fuck. Fuck me.
Still in.
Fucking 2 million, man.
Still in.
Isn't limping onto the gun very transparent? I mean, no, like I said, you can limp king deuce suited. So if you can limp king deuce suited, it's definitely, you got a very wide range.
You're right. 1 double, and we're right back where we were. Calvin's gonna go. Someone's gonna bang for his bounty. I got king 10 suited. I'm not folding. Oh, that was fucking everything, mate.
No, Sundills, if you want to get good at poker, you have to prove that you can beat the micro stakes and then beat the small stakes over a large number. If you're playing better poker, it will show in the long run.
The bounty for a K. Oh. All right, Tomaty's jamming so fucking wide for 2 blinds.
Wow.
Okay.
Tomaty, I don't know, man. Might be fucking close 22 there. That, like, if I'm sitting there with deuce 3 off, I'm definitely thinking about it. Definitely thinking about it. That's a 1K bounty there, so you don't really give a fuck if you get called. And to just get it in versus him, if Spraggy has just fucking jack 6 suited and has to fold. I feel like deuce 3 off might be a fucking go for it there.
Hey, good luck us. Another bounty, very important part. There's a lot in the middle. We need to hold. Dominate. Good.
Oh, it's a nice one.
No.
Oh.
Oh my god. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I forgot that happened.
I have diamonds. I have diamonds.
It was the old 3 outer on the river. Let's watch
Oh
it
my
again.
God. What the fuck? Good. No. Oh my god. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I don't think
Diamonds. I have
I've
fucking diamonds.
I've never reacted to a poker hand like that in my life.
This is for 700. How is that a run out?
That's beautiful.
How is that a run out, Parker? I had diamonds. I had king 10. He has jack 10 off. I hit a king. How is that a fucking run out?
This is why people love Spraggy.
I'm losing my fucking mind. This series. Just losing my mind.
Oh, did he have a bad series as well?
Great.
Pay jump at 14.
Hey, good luck.
I have not much and jack 3.
If it
I call
goes
the
blind
deck
versus
versus this
blinds,
jammer. Good
we're
luck, jack 3.
definitely
You're
calling.
suited.
Got to
You're
be
suited,
calling
buddy.
off in this spot. He's going to be going.
And you're suited even?
He's going to be going any 2 cards.
I'm even suited, Parker, and I crush.
Ooh, I don't know if I like the flop. That 3 of clubs just looks so menacing, doesn't it?
It's a 3. There we go.
I was gonna say I didn't want to upset you, but I was gonna say on the flop like you just can't lose this after that.
Does Spraggy change his chair?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good flop. It's a good flop. We got some chips.
He reminds me of Gordon Ramsay and Phil Hemmings together. That's so
Get the
funny.
ball.
Get the fucking balls.
Ooh. Guys, 1 if you fold here, 2 if you shove. Check Spraggy's new hair on Twitter. Alright, I will do. See, I'm such a poker fan. I just look at people that play poker. Oh. Whoa. That photo was actually taken at the halfway point of my trim. Here's the finished product, a clean slate. Whoa. Welcome to the club. That's so funny. I'm not gonna like it because it's kind of, you know, you don't know with what energy he's trying to say that. You don't know if he's trying to be mean or not. I like it. Yeah, I just like it. Yeah, I mean, I spend a lot of time around monks and shit, you know, like people that have just gone bald for the sake of spirituality, so, you know, it probably just looked good to me. Anyway, so what were people saying, 1 or 2? It's kind of probably like 60% 1. Is that a Photoshop? Am I getting trolled? What's going on? How is that a Photoshop? It's the same damn photo? Oh, it is! It is! Oh, man! Oh, fuck, I'm so easily got in this kind of shit when people do like face swaps and stuff. Like somebody could fucking face swap me onto Donald Trump. I'm like, I don't remember saying that fucking shit. That's a wild time of my life. You got me good. You got me good. Congrats, Sprags. Congrats. All right. I'm pretty sure this is a fold, but I feel like King 9 would be a shove, so I'm not 100% sure on this. He definitely shoves his fucking like King Deuce suiteds, worth noting. Does he shove King Deuce off? Maybe. Yeah. If he shoves King Deuce off, we want to go with it. That's the thing. Yeah, I don't know.
6 blinds.
Honestly, I have no idea.
I'm not too sure when I learned the phrase "hit the ball." Ever since.
Oh god, I don't know about this. I'm 16 of 17.
I don't know what you have, but I'd say it's very fucking hard for it to be bad.
What about now? Oh shit. Oh shit, Parker.
Oh.
Pretty close, actually, with King 8 off. I thought you'd be a bit stronger than that.
Yeah, it's really
But
close.
let's go!
It sounds like Spraggy thinks. Sounds
16. All right, I'm no longer.
Sounds like Tonka
complaining.
thinks it was
I
a
hit the
fold.
8.
I really don't know.
It's a speculative decision. It was an executive. It was a Dobby decision. We dobbed it in.
I don't know what Dobby decision
No,
means.
I won the pot.
I really like the dynamic between these two. It's really cute.
Still alive, chat.
What's the pot?
I won the pot. I won the pot.
Ain't Killer's supposed to call that? Not if he has a fucking trash hands.
All right, Dolly Parton, work that 9 to 5 for me.
Gotta be defendant. Nice flop.
Shit.
Ooh, interesting. What are the stacks here? Elliot might just be shoving all his ace-X. What is he on, like 15 bigs? Does he shove ace deuce suited? Yeah, probably. Does he shove ace deuce off? Definitely, possibly. Definitely, possibly. So,
all right, Dolly Parton.
Does he shove like ace 10 off? Fucking, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe raise calls like ace 10 off plus. But maybe does. Maybe just shoves ace 10, ace jack, ace queen, ace king.
On, work that 9 to 5 for
But
me.
whatever it is, there's way fewer ace-X in his range than normal.
Shit. Well, shit.
Yeah, cool. Ah, beautiful. All right. Guys, are you leading here? 1 to check, 2 to bet. Get your answers out in the chat. And if you're betting, what size are you betting? There's a good mix of answers here. So, if he has an ace, we're getting the double up. We're getting the double up. So, we're not really worried about whether or not we're going to get max value versus an ace or not. If he has a 7, he's going to be checking behind, maybe calling a bet on the river, unless the river's something kind of annoying, like an 8, like a 10, something like that. If he has a straight draw, if he has specifically 10-8 suited or 8-6 suited, if he opens 8-6 suited pre, then he's going to be checking behind very often on this turn because it doesn't look like he has much fold equity at all. I don't think I think people just completely underbluff the turn here. I think flush draws as well, they're going to be checking back. So I think the answer is pretty obviously you want to be leading here. There's just no class of hands that it makes sense for us to be checking against, really. So the point is, Nassos, that we just don't expect him to bluff here. We just don't expect him to turn up with many bluffs at all. People definitely can. Like it's not. It wouldn't be completely crazy for somebody to try and fold us off a 7 or off a straight draw, something like Jack 10 maybe. But I think they would expect a lot of our straight draws to end up leading anyway. So no, I think leading is definitely going to be the right answer. So the question is the size. Now, we want to be charging 7x, straight draws, and flush draws. Those are the 3 classes of hands we want to be charging. So the question is, and this is what I would ask myself in this situation, what is the largest size that all 3 of those hands would call? Because they're all going to call pretty much the same size, I think. Like, if he has 10-8 or if he has a flush draw, if he has 7x, maybe something along the lines of 175k, something like that. 200k maybe 205k. Something along those lines. So I'd probably size up a bit. I feel like GTO is going to be like all bet small because you want to get a good price of your bluffs and whatnot. But actually having a 9, I feel like I'm just going to size up a bit. As a coach, if I saw my student doing this, I would ask him, like, are you doing this because GTO says to go this size? Or did you truly think about what his range is and how you're going to exploit that?
Love your content and your views on life and spirituality.
Thanks, brother. Welcome back to Mushroom Kingdom. Again, sorry that that's so loud. I don't know how to turn it down. So yeah, as a coach, I would ask my student, are you doing this because you want to be balanced here with all your 10-8s, or are you doing this because you think that this is highest EV for your hand in a vacuum? Because this is the kind of situation you don't want to be balanced. Welcome to the Mushroom Kingdom, my friend. This is the kind of situation, even as a streamer, you don't want to be balanced. You really don't want to be balanced because you're playing final 2 tables, or is it final 3 tables of a 1K, which is a huge spot for you. EV is huge. You don't want to be taking lower EV spots with specific hands for the sake of balance. You want to be as unbalanced as you possibly can. So you want to be taking the highest EV spot in a vacuum with this hand against this opponent in this spot. So I would really question if I were Spraggy's coach, and of course I'm sure he's got like a great GTO coach, so he probably wouldn't listen to a bunch of what I have to say, or if he did, he might decide to take somebody else's advice. But what I would say, I think it lives in more of a reality, is like live in the moment, be mindful, be present, and know that this spot isn't going to come up again. Know that you can be really unbalanced, and nobody's going to know. And if they do, then you're going to be balanced in most spots. And you can try and mix it up later and, you know, stuff like that. But it's such a big moment for you. I really think that you can get away with going like 200k. Nobody's going to fucking notice. No one's going to make a note being like, he laid 200k, but I think if he had a bluff here, he would bet 143, you know, something like that. So I would really, really question if my student were to do this.
All right. Shock.
You won the pot.
I won the pot. Sick bluff. I had 10-7-0.
Really? I thought you had 9-5. Dolly Parton.
I may have had trips.
Got him.
All right, this could be
that was a bad time to be unbalanced.
$65 bounty.
Bad time to balance.
Elliot
Sorry.
Pat. If they shove, we're all in. They fold. Just gonna jam blind, be blind 15. This is a pro.
Yeah, probably. Oh, I don't know actually. You know, I'm probably limping this, and the reason for that is actually, you know what? Get your answers out in the chat. Why do you think Charlie Carrel, the person that's like, don't usually limp because you don't want to have limping balanced strategy? Why am I? Because I'm in it. Why do you think I might be limping this? See if you can get the answers out, or just have a think about it. You don't need to type it in the chat if you don't want. Yeah, so that it's going to be more specific than limp to induce, obviously. Like obviously we're inducing, but you have to be thinking about what kind of hands he's going to be shoving. So the question I'd be asking myself here is, if we shove, does he call ace deuce off? Very, very good question, because they're the kind of hands that we just have in the bin, you know. And I think the answer is he actually doesn't in this spot, even though we have a big bounty. I think for this many big blinds, I think ace deuce off might just start folding. Now, if we think ace deuce off is going to be calling, I'm definitely shoving here, because, you know, if we induce other hands, it's nowhere near as high EV. But these are the kind of questions you want to be asking yourself. So let's say it's no bounties. Let's say we're like blind versus blind for 17 bigs with like ace 9 off or ace 7 off. We want to be limping there because he ain't going to be calling a shove if we shove for 15, 70 bigs, no bounty. But he might or probably will end up shoving himself. That being said, shoving here is definitely not bad.
To just rip
I think I would. How many blinds is this? I'm being really slow. Is this 15? Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm limping.
Oh, fuck me.
That reaction is so golden.
Let's go! The kid is doing it.
I won the pot.
Tonka's such a good friend to Spraggy.
I'm no longer moaning about the run bad that happened before. Holy shit.
You won the pot? No, keep moaning. You gotta moan.
Yeah, fuck this game, actually. Fuck this game. I deserve to win. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll tell you something right now. If I don't win this tournament, Parker, you are in so much trouble.
Well, I mean, I'm probably going to be in trouble then because you're most likely not going to win the tournament.
What do you mean? I'm 5 of 15. Oh my god, I've got ace king.
No, I wouldn't be limp folding ace 7 off. I'd be limp
30
calling
blinds,
it.
shove, buddy. $1,800 bounty and all the chips.
This is the cool thing about bounty tournaments. They get fucking exciting when you
We're just gonna rip. I think this is a big moment. 7 of 13. 27. I think I'm just shoving.
All right, guys. 1 if you're 3-betting to a size that isn't all in, and 2 if you're shoving. So, you know, if you and if you are 3, if you're 1, what size are you going to be going? So the guy opening is on 27 bigs. We just about cover him. I think I'm just 3-betting here, and I can definitely see an argument for shoving. I think I'm just 3-betting. We're so near the final table that picking up chips is huge, and getting a huge stack is huge. And also that if we 3-bet, we actually stack him more often than if we shove, because he ends up shoving some hands that we dominate that would otherwise fold. And then we might stack him post if he ends up calling. And having chips near the final table bubble, or on the final 2 tables, or on the final table is just so powerful. Like the ICM implications of getting a big stack are just so huge. That being said, let's say you're on like a fucking ridiculously soft table. Let's say you're playing a micro stakes tournament. Everyone's a recreational player apart from you. It's probably better to shove here because you don't want to be taking the super high variance of him calling and you hitting, having to c-bet, or him shoving, so fucking like deuces or whatever. But I think in this situation, people on the table are pretty good at poker, I assume. And I know that's a reg. Pretty sure he's a reg. So I think the edge isn't going to be big enough to justify taking that much of a low variance approach. That being said, shove, definitely fine. Ace queen is definitely calling if we shove. Ace jack is probably calling if we shove. Ooh. That's a big 3-bet, mate. I think what Spraggy's done is, I think he's wanted to 3-bet, but he's pretty much just shoved. I have ace king. Yeah. I think that's what he's saying, actually. I think he might literally be saying the words, "Hi, I have ace king." That's a really good point, Mez. And shows a good understanding of poker there, I think, Mez. So congrats to that. What hands are we going to be 3-bet folding for this size when he's got a 2k bounty? I don't think so. We'd have to be so polarized. We'd have to be like taking our fucking like jack 3 suiteds and shit. Oh, he did leave the 6s, didn't? That's... Don't like that. Don't like that. Don't like that. That's a lot of 6s, mate. That seems too much to be a coincidence.
Okay. Ace king on.
Yeah, I feel like he needed to leave the 777, 777.
2.7 million.
That's a very good point.
I'm a piece of crap.
What size am I 3-betting? Great question, I should have said. Maybe like 600? Something like that. He can still be 3-bet folding. 580.
Pot.
2.7 million. I won the pot. I'm a piece of crap.
Also not true. You played great, buddy.
Oh, that's so cute. Guys, did you hear that?
I'm a piece of crap.
Also not true. You played great, buddy.
He said that with such sincerity. That was so lovely. Oh. Ah. E.
Oh, yeah, what?
Oh, yeah? You think I play great? Hold on to your butts.
Ah, so cute. All right. 1 if we're checking, 2 if we're betting. And if we're betting, what size are we betting? Sorry, I should always say that quickly. So this is a situation where if you're saying 1, understandable. It's not the worst hand to be checking back. I wouldn't be surprised if a solver checks this back. However, in these kind of situations, this is where you can just make a ton of money playing poker. A ton of money, especially if you're playing low stakes to mid stakes to even like pretty high stakes, like even 1Ks. By just c-betting like 25 to 33% here, you make all of his like ace deuces fold, all of his like king queens fold, all of his like king deuce suited fold, king 5 suited fold, and we get to barrel the turn so wide, so nice. There's barely a turn that you can name that I won't be barreling here. Maybe a fucking 9, hands like that. You get such cheap bluffs in MTTs, and that's one of the most beautiful things. you just get to bet 25% on so many flops, and if you can think of a bunch of hands that will fold, then you're making money. You know, the board could be, the wettest board imaginable could be like 9-7-6, you know, and we have like ace jack or something, and he's still got to fold all his like king deuces, his ace x, you know, like there's still a bunch of hands that need to be folding, and if you can get away with betting a quarter pot without somebody exploiting it and exploiting 100% c bet, fucking have at it. Top regs will exploit small c-bet. They won't exploit it. I mean, it's fine to small c-bet, so it's not like an exploitable size. But they will check raise a reasonable amount. The problem is, though, that it's very expensive to check raise. You know, where there's not a very big SPR. He's pretty shallow, and he's on the final table bubble. He's got to play pretty snug. So we're in a good spot.
Hands is all in on the other table. We're having a bet. Hey, fold. Mate, I'm 4 of 12. In a WCOOP 1K Turbo PK. Is it too much to ask?
No.
Don't say it.
Oh, they're so cute. Is it too much to ask? He says rhetorically.
Buddy.
No, it's not.
We are now in the 3s or the 8s business. We buy 3s, we sell 3s. We buy 8s, we sell 8s.
That's so funny. All right, guys. 1 to call, 2 to raise. And if we're raising, what size are we raising to? Get your answers out in the chat. You guys are playing like little pussies, huh? You guys are playing like little pussies. Yeah, it's good. Just call it. The problem with raising here, even though you definitely do get a bunch of fold equity, which is good, the stack sizes are just really fucking awkward. You know, if we make it like 560k here, and he shoves, we're like, oh, duh, you know, we're fucking punching walls and shit. Kicking cats, you know, whatever you guys are into. Not judging. Somebody said 2 all in. I think there's definitely an argument for that. For sure. If you had a bigger bounty, it might be better to just go all in here. But we just get called by fucking everything. Like, if he has a fucking 5, he's probably just calling a shove. Yeah, I don't know. Shoves definitely a consideration here. I think shove might be the second best option. Maybe the best option as well, but I think second best option.
It's what we do. Now drill me. Oh my god, I've been juiced. I have the nuts. I have 6, 7.
What value are we shoving here? Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm all in when I don't block any of the pairs. I don't block the calls with 6, 7.
No. I've given away the answer that I think, but Spraggy's given away the answer that he thinks. 1 to call, 2 to shove. 1 to call, 2 to shove. I wish I hadn't given away the game there. Please don't shove. I've seen this, so I think it shoves. I think that's what happens, but that would be bad. Name a bluff. I dare you guys. Name a bluff that Spraggy will have here if he shoves turn. Name one. Jack 10? Well, like Jack 10 of diamonds. That ain't... What was the flop size that you bet? Nah, Jack 10 of diamonds ain't pinning that size. Jack 10 of diamonds just fucking folding flop. Or raising, perhaps. raising Jack 10 diamonds on the flop would actually be pretty legit, I think. Oh, man. I can't think of a single hand that would bluff here. You just don't have enough equity with fucking anything. Like, with absolutely anything. When the guy bets and he just has...
Oh my god, I've been juiced.
All of his overpairs. All of his, like, fucking 9x,
6, 7.
7, 8, shit like that. And he bets big as well. I wouldn't even expect Jack 10 to bet that big. So I think the villain's very polarized here. He's very, like... His bluffs are going to be something like Queen Jack, King 7, hands that don't have a ton of equity, and then he's just going to have a ton of value hands. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, theoretically, you're meant to be having bluffs here. You're meant to be check shoving, but I think in human world, I don't think people are gonna say it. I wouldn't shove here. And the thing is that if he is bluffing, let's say the guy is turning up with fucking like king 7 here. If the river's anything like a 10, a jack, a queen, a king, an ace, he's got a really fucking nice bluff spot. And we have a really nice call on literally any river. There's no river we're scared of. You know, like we might lose some action on a 7 or a 6, but in the words of GTO people, we block those. But no, I don't think there's any reason to shove him.
I think I'm all in when I don't block any of the pairs. I don't block the calls with 6-7.
This don't get me started on the video that I made recently called the blocker fetish, or the problem with blocker fetishization or something like that. I've forgotten what it's actually called. But that's some over blockerization. We'll call it that. The blockers
$800 bounty. I got
aren't
the
what
nuts.
you're meant to be thinking about here, mate, or the unblockers or whatever.
For all the chips.
Bounty, I got the nuts. Wow, that's exciting. Oh no, you got the nuts.
Yeah, if I'm villain there with fucking jacks, I'm just like, oh.
Come on, coach, gotta put it in.
Put it in, buddy.
Put it
Fuck
in.
off.
I'm crazy. I'm bluffing. I'm wild. He folded a 9.
Yeah. My blocker video is so fun, thank you. Oh, this is where the pennies dropped on Spraggy, and he's like, maybe my unblocker rationalization wasn't the one. I mean, shout out to this guy for actually folding a 9. That's a tough fold. It's not an easy fold, but I would definitely make that fold here against anyone apart from fucking like Linus Love, you know, or like, you know, the top players. I'd make a fold there with a 9. And even against them, like, I would have to really fucking believe that they're capable of turning up with bluffs here. Yeah, there's just so many value hands. You know, we got all of 6-7. We've got 16 combos of 6-7. We have a fuck ton of 9-8, 8-5 suited. We've got maybe 8-5 off even. There's some 8-4s. Yeah, it's just enough stuff, isn't there? Yeah, some aces. If we didn't check raise flop, some stuff.
Oh no,
Yeah. Should we watch the reaction again?
Buddy.
It was a classic.
put it in.
I'm crazy. I'm bluffing. I'm wild. He folded a 9.
To fold it face up as well is kind of like a disrespectful. It's kind of like, obviously. The madness of blocker fetishization, that is the title.
I won the pot.
I love that reaction.
I'm actually so breathless that guy folded a...
What did you?
Alright, what are we doing on this flop, boys? One to check, 2 to bet. If we're betting, how much? You have a leading turn. Ooh, that's a great question. I didn't consider leading turn. On the 7-6. Let's go back to that quickly. So the question is, we hit the nuts on the turn. Do we ever want to lead? I like it. We could lead like 200k. Get him to raise his 9x, probably. Get him to call his 8x, 5x, 4x. Most of them anyway. I'm sure he'll fold some of them. Get him to call or raise his jack 10s. Call or raise his queen jacks. Probably fold all his like overcards like king queens, king jacks, etc. But they're just going to be checking behind anyway. The problem with leading is that we don't give him a chance to hit top pair on the river if he does have some like king queen, king 10, ace queen, something like that. I don't know. It's a very, very, very good question. Whoever asked that. Cold Fly 13. So it's a very good thought. I have no idea if it's good or not. But there are definitely some arguments I can see to make. Okay, so what's everyone saying for the queen jack? Most people are saying bet. Some people are saying check.
I'm actually so breathless that that guy
25%,
folded.
three quarters. Jesus Christ.
Would you only have 9?
If you c-bet here, it has to be small. You have to c-bet small. Otherwise, you're basically saying, like, yo, I've got a fucking hand. And you want him to be calling, like, I'd probably just min-bet here. You want him to be calling his 3x because we're going to get him off his 3x at some point anyway. We want him to be, we want to get value out of his 10x, which he might fold on the turn if we shove. So I think my plan here would just be, like, bet probably the absolute minimum and then shove turn. Put his 3x in a spot where it has to fold, put his 10x in a really gross spot, and just know that we're going to get it in against a king no matter what.
Yeah, well, he showed a 9.
Well, what do you mean? We think he's going to call?
Top pair, mate?
What do you mean? We think he's going to call?
A good friend is an honest friend, and
What, he only had a 9?
Yeah, well, he showed a 9.
Well, what do you mean? We think he's going to call?
oh, that's so cold. That's so
Top
cold.
pair's dust? You check jam the turn on 9854 rainbow? What do you want yourself to have?
That's so brutally honest when he's still fucking playing. Damn, he's a good friend. That is a very good friend thing to say. I'd probably wait until after the tournament to say that, keep his morale high, but whatever.
All right, I got a bet call here.
What do you want yourself to have? That's such a good question.
Interesting.
All right, guys. One to check, 2 to bet, and if you're betting, what size? That's so funny from Tonko. Best friends are honest. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm checking. If we bet, I feel like we have to bet real small. We have to bet like 250k or something like that. You know, we can still put his like 10 sevens in hell by betting and his 3x in hell. So it makes sense that we would bluff like 250k. Shoving, I think, would be a disaster. But checking means that we still have a bunch of bluffs in our range. So like imagine we're getting here with like fucking ace 5 of hearts. You know, we see bet the flop just because lols. And then we check turn. And then we turn up on the river. And pretty much any river, it looks like we can have a bunch of bluffs. Like we can even stack a king if it comes a queen or a jack. Or 2 pair. Because it looks like we can legit have a bunch of bluffs here. He's probably going to be like, if we check back and the turns and the river's fucking anything normal, then he's probably just going to be shoving a king. Obviously, if the river's fucking ace, you're just like, oh, what have I done? You know. But I think I like checking. If I had a bluff here, if I did have like ace 5 of hearts, I think I'd probably just bet turn, like 100, 200k or something like that. Make him fold his 3x, make him fold his 10 sevens, 10 eights, that stuff. And if I had ace queen or ace jack, I'd be tempted to shove. Those. Definitely not ace jack of diamonds, obviously, but even just like fucking ace jack of hearts, be tempted to just shove it. Anyway, 150.
All right, I got a bet
I'm
call
gonna
here.
check for timing tells here.
Oh boy. Interesting.
That is a timing tell. I'm coaching hat back on. That is definitely a timing tell. The bluffs that you're representing here are maybe some no equity bluffs, maybe some fucking ace queen ace jacks, maybe some 7-8 suited, hands like that. They're gonna have to fucking think about it, you know. Like they're gonna have to think: do I want to try and fold out a 10? Do I want to try and, you know, like do I care if I get shoved on by a king? Stuff like that. I think that was a pretty big timing tell. Like the hands that have quite easy decisions. Like if you're gonna take a hand that has an easy decision, it's gonna be a nutted hand for sure. Like ace jack and ace queen definitely don't have a fucking 2-second decision here. 7-8 does not have a 2-second decision here. You know, ace 5 of hearts doesn't have a 2-second decision here. So yeah, I would definitely make note of that if I were his coach.
Go for a thin value bet with my weak hand.
Every like almost fucking everyone has timing tells.
Can I jam the river with this weak hand? Try and get.
Where was he shoving? I'm just thinking about how often we expect to get called. Doesn't really matter. I mean, we're just shoving, so whatever. But just thinking about how the turn size kind of makes our range look.
Yeah, but you got a real weak hand, buddy.
Close spot, buddy. I'm just trying to maximize here.
Did he go quick again?
Can I jam the river with this weak hand? Try and get called.
Oh, he went really quick again. Again, mate. Again, like if you're turning up with ace jack here, that's not a fucking easy shove. I mean, it's obviously easy for me to say when I'm watching, and I don't know how he does play his bluffs. Maybe he's more balanced. Like that. There was one guy I used to battle in 500 Zoom. It's probably like 7 years ago, fucking 6 years ago, whatever. He was called Inerpsy, and I think he was actually a PokerStars pro. He snapped 99% of his decisions. We would be in like an 800 big blind pot, and he would just be snapping. But when he didn't snap, that's when the timing tells. Like, okay, he's got a tough decision now, because now he's actually got to think about it. And that was actually one of the most beautiful tells I had on him. It's like, well, I know that you would snap like 85% of your range here, so now I'm really, really sure what you have, or at least like a very narrow range of what you have. I don't know if he plays... It would be rare to find a player that can bluff ace-jack off here that quickly on the turn and that quickly on the river. I really, really struggled to find a player that... Or too many players that would do that.
Yeah, but you got a real weak hand, buddy.
Close spot, buddy.
Isildur would definitely, yeah.
I'm just trying to maximize here.
Who do you think you
You can't hero fold twice.
Inner Psycho isn't the player.
He can!
Isn't the player, man.
You can't hero fold twice. He can! He folded a king!
This one's a little more fucked up, but like him folding a 9 before, like that was...
Oh, Tonka just getting him. Going after him.
I mean, I've got most of his chips, and I like the extra 5 blinds. I had Queen Jack. As you saw, chat, I had the Queen and the Jack.
Oh man, there's no hiding when you're on stream as well. When you're not streaming, you could be like, just bluffing both of them. It's just knew who's gonna fucking hero
I'm gonna call
fold.
this guy if there's an all-in. And I'm gonna get...
How many bigs?
I'm doing
Yeah, you gotta call. Gotta call. Hold it. Man, that's so brutal for Costa Toilers. He makes 2 great folds against Spraggy and then just loses King 10 versus Queen 4.
Go, buddy, let's go.
$781 value, we got 5.4 million. It's happening.
There's obviously no
shit,
carver
I've
in
got ace king
fucking
suited.
poker.
Everyone's got less than 25 blinds. I'm all in. 1k bounty, 12 blinds.
I've got a cough from
Oh,
a fucking
shit, why?
flu. Alright. About a year ago I got COVID. I didn't even fucking notice it. You know? And there's deadly pandemic and whatnot. For me personally, I'm not saying people ain't dying from it, but for me personally, I didn't even notice I had COVID. I got flu when I went to Greece, and it fucked me for like 3 weeks straight, and I still have a cough. I haven't been ill in like 5 or 6 years, and it's such a weird experience getting ill. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that your grandma died, dude. Thanks for sharing that. I'm really sorry to hear that. We're not going to talk about COVID, guys. I know what you guys are going to try and get me into, but we're not going to talk about it. No, Danny, I'm really sorry. I hope that you can find it in yourself to be strong for your family.
Oh my god, huge pot. Huge pot. And I got a
Coughing
huge
usually
fucking
takes
hand.
1 month. Good to know. Thank you.
Sold.
I actually feel like some of it's psychosomatic as well. I feel like some of it's kind of in my head. Because when I think about coughing, then I cough more.
Let's flip. Oh my god.
DOTT, boys. DOTT.
Back from fucking nothing as well. Fuck me, come on.
15 to start the hour, buddy. 300k.
Lot 707. I'm not answering that question. I've answered it many, many times. And I feel like at some point the chat's just trolling me with how many people 15 trust COVID tests. So I don't know. I didn't actually get tested for COVID and test positive, but I went round True Geordies, and afterwards I felt kind of like weird for about 5 days. And I was playing some high stakes poker at the time, and I was playing like my B game, it wasn't quite working for me. So I was like fucking, it was winter, so it must have been WCOOP. I can't remember. It was fucking cold anyway. I think it was Scoop. So I jumped in my fucking pool and did loads of like really cold pool meditations because I was like, I'm tired. I'm not playing my A game. It must be me. It must be I'm not eating right. I'm not meditating right. I really took personal responsibility for it. And then I get a call like 5 days later from True Geordie being like, oh hey mate, everyone in that was there that day tested positive for COVID and we're all really sick. I was like, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. How many times a week do I clean? I clean every day, but I also have a cleaner. I don't keep on top of it, honestly. I make sure that my room is tidy enough, but my kitchen specifically gets the better of me.
Fucking 4 blinds. 19 minutes ago, 4 blinds.
310,000 visitors in 19 minutes.
Yeah, fair enough, lots. You can check my latest YouTube video to hear some comments on that, or check my Instagram. I speak about it quite a lot.
60K in a WCOOP title
about the
and
COVID
don't
stuff, but
say a fucking word.
now's not the time.
All right, we want.
That was really funny.
Give me the 60K in a WCOOP title and don't say a fucking word.
That's really funny.
All right, we want to raise. Again, I think we'll do a lot of raising now because we got all the chips.
Thanks, Green and Gold. It's actually a
getting to
good
some
comment.
pay
I don't know if
jumps.
my cleaner does dust the radiators. She probably does.
If we see a jam here for 12, we are going to have to call. Seems like a really...
All right, what size are we betting or are we check? All right, one to check, 2 to bet. If we're betting, what size are we betting? Thoughts on ivermectin? I was talking... No, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get into it. You're tempting me, Amster, but I'm not going to get into it. Yeah, everyone seems to know what's up. Man, people are getting good at poker. Back in the day, I feel like I was one of the only people min betting this spot. Everyone was fucking like third potting it. But yeah, min betting is 100% what you want to be doing.
Good flop for us to just bet.
Probably 100% of your range. I feel like 125 is a bit
Hard
too
to
much.
connect with the ace-4-4, we pick it up.
Is that about 25k too much?
This is a dynamic at this table now that suits us beautifully, right? Because now the pay jump's starting to come into play, the FT bubble.
Is it not bad to
coming
jam
up,
pre? I wouldn't
and we just
bother.
cover
I don't think
everybody
people are
super
going to be
hard,
shoving super
and it's
wide
actually a spot
anyway.
where ladders become a little bit more relevant.
It might be better, but personally,
So
I'd
this is
take a
gonna go
low
to an
variance
FT.
approach.
8,
Cool.
7.
Cool.
You go 8, right? Because you won't play 4 and 3.
Cool.
8,
Nice.
let's go 8.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the first thought you need to be having here, how much Queen X does this motherfucker have in his range? We know he can have aces. We know he can have kings. But what other Queen X? And a lot of people, they just don't think about poker. They'll play these hands and be like, oh, he can have a queen. But you don't think about how many combinations of Queen X he can have. Does he shove ace queen off pre? Or does he raise it? Some people will shove it. Some people will raise it. Ace queen suited. Does he shove that? Does he raise it pre? King queen off. Does he shove that pre? Probably just open shoves king queen off. So that's good to know. Queen jack off and queen jack suited probably just raises it. So he's got all of his queen jack. Queen 10, same story. Queen 9 off. Does he raise queen 9 off? I don't know if he does. There's definitely a fucking good argument for not raising queen 9 off here. It's not even a good spot where you have to call off against him. He's going to be shoving kind of tight, even for the 2k bounty. It's most of your stack, and Spraggy can shove pretty fucking wide here. So queen 9 might not be in there, queen 8, etc. Queen 8 suited probably is. And is he going to be opening his queen deuce suited? Probably fucking not. So it's worth noting, he's got a lot less queen X than normal. What king X has he got? What ace X has he got? What other kind of hands does he have? He does have a relatively tight range, so his range does hit this board quite often. But it's worth always thinking about this stuff,
We defend, make a pair. I would say probably killer's not opening super wide on the button, but I think we're still going to peel our hand.
We are going to peel the flop. Very happily, I would say.
And I think we're still going to...
It's just a spot where even if killer has like the nut hand to just barrel turns, like king jack or whatever, it's just not a very nice situation to barrel most turns.
Honestly, it feels like a turn I want to lead as well.
All right, guys, one to check, 2 to bet. Man, back in the day, like fucking 4 years ago, 3 years ago, nobody led. Nobody ever led. Now, the fact that he's considering it is great. It's fucking great. It just means that people have got better at poker. At least a little bit more creative. Luckily, all of this blocker stuff means that people still play bananas most of the time. But, you know, it's you can really tell how the game has changed. Alright, what would I do here? The question is, like, okay, if we're leading, it's obviously we're leading small. Yeah, and if we're leading, we're going to be leading like 175, 200k, something like that. What are we going to be doing on a brick? That's really the question. It's a really fucking annoying spot on the river if the river's just like deuce of hearts or whatever, or if the river's a king. That's a really, really annoying spot because if we check, we're probably check folding near 100%. Like human world, not GTO world, obviously. I would much rather, like, if we had like some kind of flush here, I'd much rather like lead turn small, check river, and get him to just blast off. That would be really spicy, I think. But having a hand like this, it's like, well, we don't want to check, but we also don't want to bet because then we're turning second pair into a bluff in a spot that doesn't make any sense to us. So I think, just thinking ahead a bit, I think I'm much rather checking here.
Oh.
The fact that he's led that size
is
is,
allow us to
you know,
realize our equity,
it's definitely
and it's just,
better
like,
than
super painful for so many of their hands.
Yeah, so now we hit the problem of leading. Now we hit the issue that we had here. Like, he's definitely got a good point. You know, it is annoying. Let's say he's sitting there with like king 10 no spade on the turn. You know, it's really fucking annoying for him to be led into there. But now we're seeing the problem of leading turn with this exact hand.
With this particular...
All right, 1 to check, 2 to shove. 1 to check, 2 to shove. I'm not giving you guys any other option apart from check and shove. Sorry about that. If you're betting anything less than all in, then it's going to look very bluffy because all your value hands are gonna want his bounty, which actually used to be a fucking strategy that a lot, even regs would get wrong. Like fucking like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, they would sometimes bluff without putting you all in bounty tournaments. When bounties first started becoming a thing, it was fucking beautiful. Man. When bounties first started becoming a thing, there were some glorious times. Nobody fucking knew what was going on. I mean, people still don't really know what's going on, I think, because like future bounty equities and things like that. But there were people just like top regs in the world, fucking like raise calling 40 bigs with pocket fours, button versus small blind. They were just going bananas. It was a great time. It was a really good time, just fucking trying to figure out how to play poker. I was always much more on the conservative side. Like I'm always a lot about like chip preservation in tournaments in comparison to most people. That being said, I'm also one of the puntiest players, so it's there's a balance there. I probably have to balance myself out. I'm not a caller. Let's just say that I'm not a pre-flop caller. And I'm not a pre-flop shover either. All right, so let's say he's sitting there with like queen 10 of hearts, and we go all in. I feel like queen 10 of hearts is just going to fold against the shove, right? Like, what bluffs do we have here? Like, obviously, we can have like fucking 5-7, 6-7, things like that, but maybe not 6-7. We called the flop. But you know, it's not fucking that hard to turn up with a value hand, right? How big do you bet on the flop? Yeah, we could check call some flush draws, 5x of spades, some king x of spades maybe. Yeah, I could see king x of spades check calling flop potentially. Yeah, all right. Yeah, we can turn up with some flushes here. We can turn up with some 2 pairs. Are we calling 7-8? Maybe. I could see 7-8 and 6-7 calling. 8-6, maybe. With a spade, at least. With a spade, I can see that happening. Yeah, 7-8 with a spade. Let's fucking go. All right. So what bluffs are we going to be turning up with here on the river? Maybe some 5-7s, maybe some 6-7s, but they don't have to play that line. You know, they don't have to take that line, especially if they don't have a spade. They might not. So, what's Villain's range here? Villain can definitely have some flushes. He can definitely have some like King X suiteds, Ace X suiteds. He can definitely have some 2 pairs that are always going to be calling. So he can have Queen Jack specifically. He can have sets. He can have pocket queens, pocket 9s. They might raise turn though. They might raise turn. So that's definitely a consideration. And then hands that are going to be folding. He can have some 9x. He can have some like ace king with the ace of spades, ace jack with the jack of spades, those kind of hands. He can have a bunch of queen x. He can have ace queen, king queen, queen 10, like we mentioned before. And they might all fold. They might all fold. We're on the final table bubble. And it's hard for us to turn up too many bluffs here. So, all in all variables considered, I've come to the conclusion. I have no fucking idea. No fucking idea. If we check, are we ever winning? No. No, he's just shoving any hand worse than ours. So I'm probably going all in. I think I'm just going all in.
Super painful for so many of their hands. With this particular hand, I don't know whether we rip.
The shorter guy on the table does make it slightly better.
Not.
Slightly better. Not too much because the ICM for, you know, laddering one position isn't huge. But it means that, you know, he's making the final table a lot more often if there's a shorty here or on the other table. If he folds, I mean. Oh, the 2-second time bank, so stressful, man. King, Queen of Hearts is one of those hands that we said. I think they're probably going to be folding. I think they're going to be folding there. I'm not sure about the snap check from him. It's probably a check, but don't know about it. Can see Sprags turning up with fucking like Jack X here and making a hero call maybe. You should think about it at least. What do we do? Spade on the river? Check, probably.
And then if there's a jam, we call
check and decide.
7.5. If Killer shoves,
check fold probably.
We fold. And feel pretty good about folding.
Sprags always on 0 time back. Is he one of the people that's just like late
this one
to,
is just too shallow to fold
getting
with
back
a 2K
from
bounty.
the whatever it's called?
Obviously they're just gonna miss this flop a lot.
All right, guys. It doesn't really matter what you do here, so I'm not going to ask you, but you should probably just bet call it off. Probably just min bet or like 150k it, and then just call it off. He knows that we're not folding, so there's not really any reason to. Yeah, we're just hoping that he ends up shoving fucking like 7-5 or whatnot for no fucking reason. So min bet's probably the one.
I wonder if we just pump it all in.
Yeah, just
like
min
we're
bet.
gonna bet call anyway. Maybe we just jam it. Or maybe we just min and call off anyway.
Yeah, I think just
What's
min and
better?
call off.
Hmm.
We're just it literally doesn't matter, but we're just kind of hoping that he
Not
makes a
gonna fold,
mistake
given the pot
against
odds.
one big blind.
Unfortunately, they got a top pair, but we. I've got a better one.
Congrats, Sprags.
It is
Congrats.
hard.
Outplayed him, I'd
It
say.
is hard. I mean, they're gonna jam like once they get hit, they're gonna jam like 4. I've got aces. They're gonna jam like 4 blinds and shit. Obviously, I'm not gonna fold for an extra 4 blinds we cover for the bounty. We do pick it up 5.8k in bounties, and I got fucking ace the next hand.
Wow, let's go. Let's go.
Honestly, this might want to trap.
All right, guys. 1 to call, 2 to 3 bet, 3 to shove. 1 to call, 2 to make it like 5 bigs, 3 to shove. That's a lot of fucking answers. How many people are watching? That's a lot of people saying stuff. I'm pretty sure all your solvers will tell you to fucking just call here. I wonder if it's actually better to have. It's probably you flat both of them, but I wonder if it's better to have kings here because Yakuti just goes wild with so much ace x. You know, not better as in like higher EV, but better as in to trap kings than it is aces. Because if he's sitting there with like ace deuce off and it goes open call, it's a fucking lovely spot to just shove. can we ever get away with bluffing? No, I don't think so. I don't think he'd expect us to just go wild with fucking like queen 3 suited and make it like 5 big. So I think that it's either a shove or a call. I feel like if you have a really aggressive image, like a really, really aggressive image, like my image, like I feel like I can definitely get away with making it fucking like 4.7 bigs. You know, you got to have a really fucking aggressive image though. Maybe like 5 bigs or something. But yeah, I think calling makes the most sense.
20, yeah.
If you're in the villain with king queen, do you call a jam on the
trappy.
jack river? No, I'd fold it. I'd fold to a shove there.
FT bubble. Killer's not really wanting to call against me, and I think we do want to just take a flop and probably check raise this flop at 15.
All right, guys. 1 to call, 2 to raise. Yeah, I feel like I'm just calling here as well. The problem with raising is that I don't know if he'd expect us to turn up with fucking like queen 10 here much. You know, and let's say the turn's like a fucking 5 of spades. What are we doing there? Are we betting and shoving river? Because it doesn't look like fucking queen 10 or queen jack or jack 10 are just gonna go like check raise bet shove when we don't have any fucking value hands, you know. So I would probably just lean towards a call here. Expect him to be double barreling a decent amount. You know, it's hard for us to turn up with too strong a hand here when we're going to be shoving king jack, king 10, king queen pre. So we're going to have a lot of like queen 10 off, queen 10 suited. If we're not shoving that pre, maybe we would. Queen jack off, you know, hands like that, 9-8 suited. So I'd actually expect him to be barreling turn here a lot. So I think calling's a lot better actually.
I think so. They're never gonna they're not in a position where they want to triple off against me.
I don't know about that, mate. I think Spraggy's not considering his own range deep enough here. We're really fucking capped. Like, we can't have 3s, we can't have kings, we can't have 9s. We might be able to have king 9 off. Maybe king 9 suited. So, like, king 9 is literally the only good hand we can have. We can't have king queen. We can't have king jack. We can't have king 10. We can have aces and kings, maybe, actually. We might be able to have kings. We said that before. But we then just have a bunch of other hands like 9-7 suited, 10-9 suited, queen jack off, you know, hands like that. So I think calling and just letting him barrel, like, he's definitely incentivized to barrel here.
I think I just want to try and get him to commit stacks.
That's a big raise, man. It's a big raise. You have to be thinking about it. Like, if you're sitting in killer's shoes here, like, what hands are we targeting here? Like, do we want him to call his, like, jack 10 of hearts? You know, something like that. I don't even know if jack 10 of hearts peels one here. It might just about, but final table bubble in, you know, if we're putting a bunch of his stack in, he might not. I feel like you want to go sides that jack 10's definitely peeling. You know, fucking nothing. You know, fucking 400k.
This is... Okay. Final table. WCOOP final table.
Good, I'm getting hungry.
$4,201.
We made it! Anyway, congratulations to Spraggy. He's definitely a very cognizant and cognitive player. He's really, really thinking through his decisions. He's definitely winning in these fields. So, you know, shout out to him. He's making some good plays. I definitely have a lot of criticisms, but at the same time, nobody knows what the right answers for so many of these spots are. You know, there's some things that are pretty clear, like at the beginning when he thought his kicker played when it didn't. I'd say that's a pretty binary decision. There were definitely some pretty critical errors there, I think. But in general, he's playing really, really well. And may I just say that I think Spraggy's fucking legends. I really fucking love Spraggy, and I'm so happy that he won this tournament. Is it his biggest cash ever, maybe? And yeah, it's just it's a fucking wild one. We'll do part 2 later. I'm feeling pretty hungry and pretty like my brain's just not firing all cylinders right now. So we'll perhaps do the final table tomorrow if I get time. And for now, let's go fucking raid somebody. How many people are watching? That's important. Are watching that. Dude, that's so many fucking people. What the fuck? You guys love watching this. All right. Cool. Let's go make somebody's day.
Yes. Yeah.
No. Who do we want to raid? I've raided him a lot. Grips is always a great one. He's playing marbles though. That doesn't seem like poker. Could raid a chess streamer. Let's go check out some poker people. Guys, get your opinions out in the chat and stick around for the raid. Let's all just give, if every single person, or if even like 20% of you, just gave one compliment to the person that we raided, imagine how happy we can make Mike. Or, quick question now, imagine how happy we can make them. So, just stick around and just one compliment. Just say hi. Just say, hey, I like your hair, or whatever the fuck. Just make it sincere, you know, make it good. NL 500 Zoom?
Bros. I got my book with.
What do you guys think?
Can you grab me the almonds out of the cabinet?
Oh, there's a lot of people saying some stuff. Who's PKR Pa? Let's go check him out. He's not started stream, so unfortunately I can't do that. You guys down? You guys down for saying some fucking nice things? CG is a legend. CG good guy. He looks like a good guy. I like this guy's energy, and he's playing 500 Zoom. It's always actually like legit exciting to watch that kind of stuff. So let's go fucking raid him. All right, guys. Thanks for sticking around. We'll do part 2 pretty fucking soon. I'll put this up on YouTube as well. So guys, if you're still watching the YouTube video and you haven't liked the video, fuck you. I hate you. I live in Farnham right now. I didn't used to say exactly where I live, but I'm moving real soon. And guys, actually, some good news. I found the house that I'm moving into. I found my new place today. I've been looking for maybe like 5 or 6 months. I saw it today, and I'm really fucking happy with it. I haven't 100% made the decision yet, but I'm the only person that's looked at it because it's not quite on the market. And yeah, if you have any other questions, let's get some Q&As done. How much and how often do you meditate? I meditate probably like an hour and a half a day. A few times a day. I can't imagine my life without it, honestly. Yeah, if you have any other questions, just punt them in. Do you like bananas? Love bananas. Yeah, I like making them in smoothies. I like eating them. Fucking great. Bananas. I don't have any in my house right now, and I'm actually kind of sad about that. Teach meditation in your small community? Fuck yeah, man. I think that the world is going through a huge spiritual transformation, and it's people like you that are spreading the love. Like if you teach 5 people how to meditate, that's going to impact their lives hugely. Every person they meet is going to be slightly impacted by that. The change you can make even in a small community is just fucking huge. Are you single? No, I'm still with Hannah. Things are definitely going well between us, although I'm experiencing a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of trauma that's kind of coming up, which has been pretty brutal over the last few days, but it's not something I'm not used to. So good at getting Hannahs, so true. Favorite genre of music? I don't know if I have a genre, but I like listening to kind of like spiritual-esque music, like relaxed music that just makes me feel good. But also classical music, I fucking love it. Love to see Jarrett Man 500 Zoom YouTube analysis also. I really like Jarrett Man, and he spoke to me in the chat yesterday, and he was just nice in the Zoom chat, maybe the day before. So I might message him if he has social media and be like, hey, do you want to do like a joint thing? That could be really funny. You know, guys, if you haven't checked him out, Jarrett Man, I think spelled JARRETTMAN. On YouTube, he's a very, very good GTO 500 Zoom rig. He's like the only 500 Zoom rig that I've watched the videos of. So apart from myself, and yeah, I think he's really good at explaining it. Obviously, he and I have drastically different opinions on how to play poker, but fuck it. Birthday's on 7th of the 7th. Does it mean something? You can put meaning to it. Flu hits you harder than COVID, huh? Yeah, hit me harder than COVID. Don't know about other people. Depends. Hits kids harder than COVID, statistically. I just asked you because you said you were moving, so I wanted, yeah. It's a good point. Hannah's in Florida at the moment. Channel has helped me on YouTube. Jarrett, man, cool, good to know. Thoughts on llamas? Fucking cute. Alpacas too. Fucking cute. Favorite composer? It's probably Mozart. I like singing Mozart. I like listening to him. Tchaikovsky. Legit. I remember I used to love singing Tchaikovsky choral music at least. He diagnosed me with Asperger's. I was when I was a kid, although I'm 99% certain that maybe like 95% certain I wouldn't be now. Thanks, Poofy, for that. Lex's 10k PKO WCOOP. I don't know if Lex would be as game as Spraggy. Don't know if Lex would want me to analyze this play, but I could reach out and see. And yeah, let's fucking raid this guy before everyone fucking starts leaving because we're not playing poker anymore. Why are you moving to a different house? The landlady wants this place back, very understandably. That's really funny, almost. Alright, guys. Peace.
What? Are you a prophet?